Okay, Andy Warren and Mike Bacon here at Portman Road. We've just watched Ipswich Town lose, Mike, 3-0 to Millwall in their final pre-season game. A little bit of a reality check, I think, and that's how Paul Cook referred to it at the end of the game. Did you agree with him?
Yeah, I think so, Andy. I mean, the Palace game and the Colchester game was certainly. I just felt more high tempo. It just felt more high tempo. This felt a little. I wouldn't say a little flat, but certainly Millwall were a very solid Championship side, and I think they strangled Ipswich a little bit, to be honest. I think that was part of it. Ipswich couldn't really get into the game. They couldn't get any particularly great flow and moves going. It's not so much a reality check, as we just heard from Paul Cook. He talks about his pre-season. It is pre-season, but of course the season starts next week. But a real tough test for Town today, and that won't have done him any harm.
Yeah, that's how Paul Cook was looking at it. He referred to this game as probably being the worst kind of fixture they could have asked for, but at the same time, potentially the best kind of result. A reminder that this team's a work in progress. That's not to say there weren't some good moments, Mike. There were some good moments on the ball. Lee Evans, I thought, kept the ball really nicely through midfield there. Anyone standing out for you?
I thought Raheem Harper had another decent game, and it was just. I mean, there was lots of little bits with Ipswich, really. I mean, there was sort of bits of good stuff, but Millwall just didn't allow him to play. I mean, it's as simple as that. That's what they do in the Championship. You go out and grind results, don't you, in the Championship? Ipswich will have a little bit more freedom next week against Morecambe. They showed there's lots of good players in this Ipswich team. You don't have to worry about it. It's nice to see. Liam's got on the ball a lot, actually, which was nice to see. And I mean, yeah, I think overall they were disappointed with the result, but really, as I said, they were strangled a little bit in playing, and it's a little bit of a lesson against a strong Championship side. Piggott up front had some moments. Obviously, Wes Burns he sort of hit the outside the post, didn't he? But really. It was a tough day for Town.
Yeah, I think, like you've said, they weren't allowed to play, and most of Ipswich's attacking openings came from either picking Millwall's pocket or Millwall errors, which says a lot, I think. I'll tell you one thing that I did enjoy, and I think is coming on really nicely, and you'll have seen this, I hope, over the last 3 games, is not just the partnership between you and I,
yes.
but also the partnership between Kane Vincent-Young and Wes Burns. Of the partnerships on the pitch, I'm quite enjoying how that one's coming along, because they're seeming to get on each other's wavelength now.
Yeah, a lot of pace between the pair of them, and I'd just like to see Kane just go on bomb range outside a little bit more, but of course Burns is quite pacey himself, so but you're right, Andy, that is true. Down the right hand side we do look strong. You know, we've got a couple of fast players there, good players there. Just got to get their crosses sorted out. 1 or 2 crosses a bit overhit and this and the other, but so the crosses weren't as good, again today. The few opportunities they did have to cross weren't great. But yeah, I mean, Burns is as exciting player as, and Kane Vincent again. He actually moved it to midfield sort of the last 15 minutes, which was quite bizarre. But I mean, he had half chance in the final 15. But look, it is a work in progress. There's lots going on here, but at least there's lots going on, rather than there's nothing going on.
Yeah, they still want more players in. We saw a little bit of Connor Chaplin. We saw 20 minutes of him. He set up that chance that you mentioned with Vincent Young with a clever little scoop. No George Edmondson today. He's got a slight knock. Same with Scott Fraser, and John Nolan's still coming back from a calf problem. So there's 3 players there that could come back into this team soon enough. Mike, if I asked you how you feel about this Ipswich team going into the Morecambe game, the big kick-off next week, how would you describe your feelings there?
I think they're in a decent place, and I would expect them to beat Morecambe. I mean, no reason why not. A good atmosphere here at Portman Road is what we really need. I mean, if the Town fans are brilliant at the best of times, they're always brilliant, and I think next week this place is going to be rocking, and I think that will give that extra 5%. Ipswich just need a break, take a lead, get on top. I think you'll see a very exciting Ipswich team. There's no reason there's a lot to look forward to this season, a lot to look forward to, and next Saturday, wow, it's going to be quite an afternoon, I hope.
Perfect way to finish, I think. Mike, defeat for Ipswich in their final pre-season friendly, but it's only pre-season, and the real stuff starts next week.